So I've basically just bought a boat in another country 1,000 miles away from where I live, which might not seem like a wise idea, but it is definitely going to be the wildest adventure of my life to date, no question about it. But the reality of this is that it doesn't really start with that adventure. It started back in the UK with making this thing. So in order to build a boat, I've had to build myself a place that I can have as a workshop. So today I'm going to take you around what we've been up to in this bad boy and show you how I'm going to build my boat. I'm way in here. Welcome to this beast. In this episode, I'm going to take you through my workshop on wheels. I'm going to show you some of the tools I've bought, some of the tools that I've made, and all of the tools that I'm going to take to Switzerland to build my own boat. I'm also going to show you what's happening behind the scenes as I choose a new welder, and I'm going to tell you a few home truths about myself. So I'm actually in the UK at the moment, and I'm just about getting ready to set off and head out to Switzerland and start building the boat. In fact, this is one of the rudders, which is an aluminium boat that we're building. So I've had to literally put everything from my boat building kit and caboodle in this trailer, because there's no way. We're living in the camper, we can't afford to live in Switzerland. There's far too much money, so what you get with us is pretty much what you see is what you get. So I'm going to give you a quick whip around the trailer, show you what I've got as I try and figure out if I've got everything that I need, because we're basically leaving in only a few days now, so I need to get everything in here ready to go. So what we got? Rudders, need another one of them, find that somewhere. But yeah, let me show you my face.
I'll just find that somewhere.
So yeah, basically we got all this racking. It came out of an old BT van, that's British Telecom for anyone not in the UK, like the telephone people. And so it's pretty cool. We got like this set up here, really cool. And then the next thing was getting the electrics in so we can hook this up to the generator, which is here, because I'm not sure what the power supply is like in the boat, because we're literally in a field. Like it's not like we've got like a boatyard or anything like that to start that. We're in a field. Now I think there is electric there, but I'm not entirely sure. Put this in. This came from Amazon, so this was like
not Amazon Instant, like the website.
Oh yeah, I didn't buy it from Amazon. No, it came from an Amazon delivery truck. So I fitted these in like this. So that's going to be my workbench, and I put these steel things in here with my dad to bear this. I think I'm going to put a piece of steel on here, because this is polypropylene. It'll probably melt if I start welding or something like that. But I like the fact that I've got space, and then if I need to put something in here, like maybe a motorbike, what do you reckon, Jenny?
Of course.
That'd be good. Got welding stuff here. I've got helium here, and that'll be my argon bottle going here. So we use argon for welding aluminium pure, and you can use helium as well if you want to get a little bit more penetration, because helium it just transmits heat a little bit better. So we can then mix that up. So let's start by taking you around from the everyday stuff right round to the cool stuff. I think that's the way to go. So starting at the top in this corner, basically I've got all my paints and that kind of stuff. There's going to be a whole entourage of paints which we pick up on the way down. So I said I would tell you a little bit about myself and what's going on and some of the things that's happening. So I'm going to do that right now. Oh, I'm dropping things. Look at that. Look at me in the bad books already, I can guarantee you. Let me brighten you up and put you down here. We'll have a little chat here. So where are we here? Basically, I broke my neck 3-4 years ago, something like that, and I tend to just like try and get on and get by in one thing or another. But the truth of it is that it's been really, really hard for me, like really hard. And this trailer has basically put me in my place. And there's a part of me like is building this boat to achieve what I want to do, but there's another part of me that's a bit worried, am I ever actually going to be able to sail it? Now of course I'll be able to do day sails and stuff like that, but my dream is back to the Patagonia, and I'm pretty sure that I'll manage that, but I know it's not going to be an easy journey. And the long and short of it is that I need to find a way to get some strength back. So it's only been it's been a couple of months now that the doctors are giving me the go ahead to actually start doing some proper exercise and trying to build my neck up. It is totally shot, basically. It needs surgery, but the surgeons won't do the surgery because they say, you know, it's C2, so basically if they do the surgery, the risks are so high that I'll probably end up paralyzed. So their thoughts are, when I lose, they expect me to lose the left-hand side of my body first, my arm, the use of that. And it happens, I lose the feeling to that quite a bit now. But I can still use it, but I can't feel it, so it's kind of weird. So basically, when that becomes more of a permanent problem, they'll look at doing some surgery. So what I'm looking at doing is strengthen the neck, because what happens is as I get tired, the neck kind of loses its form, sags down, and then I have problems. So I'm looking at ways to grow that and grow my strength and grow my basically stamina. So I'm looking for a bunch of challenges, nothing like impact or anything like that. So, you know, maybe a little bit of like cycling, some swimming. I don't know. I hate swimming. I hate the water. All sailors should hate the water. We should stay out of the water. If a sailor is wet, they should be sinking. That's the only time. Maybe a bit of spray is okay, but no, not swimming. Anyhow, I'm looking for some challenges which are not going to break me, but are going to test me. And I don't mind being tested. I quite like that. So if anyone's got any ideas, let me know. I'd like to think about some sensible ways to get strong. And any advice wouldn't go amiss. But let's not go crazy. I do have a long-term plan here, Patagonia. So help me out here, guys. Let's make it happen, eh? Right, anyway, back to where we were. So we've got my West Systems epoxy there. I've got some different epoxies here. This is G-Flex, it's just a different type, flexible stuff. Down here, I'm into woodwork, but I've also got like cool stuff like this, because obviously it's still a small space. Like this is my fiberglass types, and I've got different types of carbon fibers and bulletproof aramid right there, just in case I need to make something bulletproof. Which you do, mate, you do have to make. I've actually got French polishing things in there. Don't think I really need them for what I'm about to undertake, but this is basically my toolbox as we travel. In here I've got some cool stuff. I made this at Boatbuilding College, so that's going back a while now. It's called a bolo plane. You see it's curved. Helps you like hollow out the back of classic wooden boats and planks and stuff. It's pretty cool. Handmade dovetail gauges. This kind of thing here, really cool thing. It's actually a dovetail square, so it's like a really small square for getting in a tight little place. Love that thing. Yeah, that's cool. What else we got in here? More hand planes. Look, this is people have seen this one when we built the camper van. It's one of my favourite tools actually. That cool little plane that's in there. So I've got my woodwork stuff there. All typical hand stuff. So like dovetail saw, keeping it classic in places as well, because I've got my granddad's crosscut saw. It's so nice. Like some of the modern crosscut saws are really nice, but they're so sharp that they kind of tear things. I like the old school ones sometimes. Pretty sweet. Fret saw, like a coping saw, small. Router bits in there, and some other kind of like pokey around specialist bits, which I always find that you need something to get somewhere. So I have like a little box full of odds and sods and stuff like that, which maybe is just in case I need them. This is being reserved for paint. So the bomb paint's going here. There's going to be like 50 litres of paint coming in here. I think all in all I'm going to have somewhere in the region of 75 to 80 litres of paint in this trailer. And I've recently just come across a latest problem, which is I'm only allowed to carry 10 litres of paint across on the ferry to France. So I'm a bit stuck. So if anyone's got any ideas on how you get paint across a ferry over 10 litres, I actually would love to know. Or just come and join me. We just need 10 people carrying
convoy.
So many things here. Again, paint in here, that's what's going in there. Here I've got like rags and hole saws and stainless steel nuts and bolts, which I've collected over the years. Some bits of rope, stuff like that. You've got to have all that stuff, haven't you? You still kind of borrowing stuff. In here we've got some metalwork stuff, some fiberglass rollers, regulators for the welders, and this, I use this paper here. Now this is no sponsorship kind of stuff. My take on boat building stuff over the years is use what works, otherwise the time that you put into it will just take flipping hours to get through the job. This 3M paper, what's it called? Hook it, is absolutely brilliant. This Mercer stuff is also good. That's like a mesh. Let me show you that actually. anyone's got any like DIY house projects, that hooky stuff cuts through stuff really, really quick. So if you strip paint off a door or something, it'll be perfect. Or on boats, the bottom of it, something like that. This stuff, there's loads of companies making now. If I hold it up to the light, it's kind of, you can see through it, look. So it doesn't get clogged. So when you use that with a good hoover, like this Festool one down here, which is good, but the bags are expensive. But yeah, basically this stuff here is brilliant for getting fine work where you want to put varnish on things or get a nice finish on paint. It's not too coarse, so I really like it. I really recommend it. So I use that for finishing. Yeah, apart from that, big bag, so I can take stuff on and off the boat without having to like go up and down 101 times. This is a laser level, posh one from Leica, because I do a lot of work on other people's boats and they rely on me putting straight lines in there. Generator, that was a godsend when we built the camper van. Like, we bought that for the camper van, we spent up and went with a Honda, and it's never missed a beat. It's been absolutely brilliant, and it probably went, how many months did we do that for now?
At least 9, was that?
9 months just using that day in, day out, every day, the only source of power. Brilliant. That's a space for something I haven't figured out yet. And then getting to the more exciting stuff here, we've got like wire brushes. That might not seem exciting to you. Tef gel.
Is it exciting to you?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Like, look, let me bore the life out of you here. This one and this one says aluminium. It's stainless steel. We can't use, when we're welding, we can't use wire brushes to clean if they've been cleaning any other material, because aluminium hates contamination. So those two stay together and will only ever be used for aluminium. I've got electrical stuff here, and I've got my drone stuff here as well, actually. We build our own drones because it's more fun and it's easier to crash them. So this is like lithium bags for big drones and things like that. Crimp and pliers, lots of different types. These are cool. Something really pleasurable about these ferro ones. They're great, these ones. This is the business end of the stick. Big dirty crimping tool. Certainly not recommended, but it's there. Grinders, that kind of stuff. This thing's a godsend. This is a Merkur sander. Merkur sanders are absolutely the best, no question about it. And are they better? Are they much better than any other person sanders? In short, yes. This is a router. Keep that in there, it's really cool. This router's been heavily modified. So I cut the top off it and I rewired the cables in and all that kind of stuff. And it was so I could basically run it. Yeah, we've got a tractor coming to see us. What are you doing here? Must be learning to drive by the sounds of it. So yeah, this was modified so that I could push it into a corner like this, or an edge, and it stopped the face, because this used to stick out to about here. So it basically you couldn't use it anywhere. Well, I used it to make the floor of the camper van, which I did that like a boat. This thing's been amazing. I've had that for years now. Going strong. Handy old drill. Expensive piece of kit. Quite cool though, because we've got all these attachments that go on this one. It's a Festool, I forget what model it is. T18+3. So we can put this basically in any orientation, which for boat building, like, that thing in itself is amazing. Also cool that it's got a hexagon slot in there for anyone who wants to use that kind of stuff. And this is really cool. Everyone with a house will appreciate this. When you want to drill a hole and you want to get right in, say, whoa, it's hard to do here, like down here, and I want to put a screw right in there, right where my finger is, you go in on an angle. This thing allows me to get right in without having to be on an angle, so you don't strip screws out. Super cool thing. I love that. This is a PPE shelf, which probably should get frequented more. Welding gloves, that kind of stuff. This stuff's like, I don't even need to go into there, but it's like spanners and hammers and all that kind of stuff. These are the crimpers of choice. If you're going to crimp cables, get some old school ones. Brilliant. And then we've got like dies and taps here, which are used for cutting the threads, putting nuts and bolts in, that kind of stuff. And now down to the meat and gravy of it. If you're going to be dealing with an aluminium boat, you're going to need some stuff to weld it with and stuff like that. So that's my everyday bag. So basically all the everyday tools in it, so if I break down, I can use that.
When we break down?
We always break down, don't we? We always break down. The last time that we travelled was just after I broke my neck, wasn't it? And we travelled to Spain, carrying all of these tools, not in this trailer like, but a lot of these tools down to Spain for a job I had to do. And I was in a neck brace, and we just got over off the ferry in Bilbao in Spain, started driving south, and just as we did that, we got a flat tire on the motorway, and I was like, lay there with a broken neck in a neck brace side of the road in Spain, tried to ring people, got no response as usual, so we had to do it ourselves. Typical. So welders, here we go. These are cool. Now these are getting replaced actually, but basically if you're going to weld boats, if you're going to do anything on boats or any mega project anywhere at some point, the day that you buy a welder will be the day that you look back forever and think, how did I do that without a welder before? So I don't generally mess around with something called MIG welding. I use TIG welding, which is just generally a lot neater and more precise, and it's a lot more portable as well, which is very good. But it's not the portability the reason I use it, because it's more precise and neater. That's the kind of torch you use for that. That's actually a CK torch. It's a great torch, but all this stuff's getting upgraded because basically I'm about to move into a whole new world of work on this aluminium boat, where I'm welding aluminium, which is very demanding of your equipment because it draws so much heat, because aluminium is such a good heat sink. So you need a cool set of tools. Now I've got good stuff here. This is a Jessic 200 amp TIG, perfect for doing like stainless steel and stuff like that. And then this is the one I've been using for a while now. It's a Lincoln 205. It's an AC/DC TIG welder. Will weld aluminium. That one won't. So you need AC/DC, or you need at least the AC side of it, to weld aluminium. So basically an AC/DC welder for aluminium, a DC welder for stainless steel and stuff like that. This is brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's one of the best welders that I could get my hands on back in the day. But now that I'm moving into the biggest project of my life, and I know that I want to take this boat to the Arctic, I want to go and meet icebergs and maybe even park the bow on an iceberg and things like that. I want to know that what I'm dealing with is going to be absolutely brilliant. Now this has been good, but it's not got enough power. Basically I'm going to replace this with a Miller welder. Now Miller have got a reputation of being the best welders in the world. I was a bit apprehensive about it, to be quite honest with you, because I've never really had a problem with these. I thought they've always been pretty good, and these are kind of like a really good welder. So I went down and I tried one, because I knew I had to buy something which was going to be awesome to do with the boat, and I just don't want to be questioning my work, and I don't want to be questioning my tools when I'm building something which is going to have my life in the balance. There's no question that the aluminium work that I do will be keeping me afloat. You'll see that when we start. The first thing I do will be welding in the thing that keeps the water out of the boat. So it's really important. So yeah, getting onto the Miller lads, and went down and said, can I come and have a look at one? Can I try one? I kind of like understand that it's supposed to be amazing, but the truth is, how amazing can it be? I learned a lot about welding that day. Definitely worth it. So,
and it matches the trailer.
And it matches the trailer. It's Miller. I mean, Miller are known for being blue, and the trailer's blue, so this is all perfect. So actually, the cool thing about this Miller is we get way more penetration, and it's not because it's a 300 amp and a 200 amp. It's because of the cool system that they've got within it, which basically means that even when I'm running it at 200 amps like this one used to, I can put so much more penetration into it that I probably won't need that helium, which, like I said before, it helps you get more heat input into the metal. So yeah. and I do need to work on this, so I've only got like 4 or 5 days before we leave, but I'm going to need to put the steel on there so we've got a bench to work from. Otherwise, every time I try and weld something or use this as the bench, it's just going to melt through. But yeah, this is what's going to make my adventure become a reality. I mean, it's been an adventure enough building something like this for sure. So yeah, I'm really excited, to be honest, to be able to get on. The only thing I have learned is that even in the British heat, it is absolutely cooking in there. It's only 25 degrees today, so we're going to be hot when we get down south. Oh, one more thing I want to show you before I go. My dad put these in for us. Polarity lights, pretty cool. So when we put the system in, that's the trips, like the usual house trips for the electric. When you plug into a shore supply for your camper van or your caravan or something like that, or your boat, if the polarity is backwards, everything will work as normal, but your trips don't protect you anymore. So putting those lights on lets us know if it's backwards. So when we do plug into places we don't know, we can be sure that we're protected, which is really important when we're dealing with, like, you know, the big power out of the welders and stuff like this, and we've got the big sockets up there for the welders as well, so safety first. And I forgot to mention the other one as well. There's a massive flipping great compressor there I forgot to tell you about. Next time you see this, you'll be in Switzerland, we're having a good time. We'll be doing some work. Alright, so hopefully you guys, I've enjoyed a little wander around my trailer, and yeah, hopefully if I've missed anything that you think I might need, please do tell me, because it won't be on will not be on purpose that it's not there. So the only other thing that I'm really going to have in here is a set of dumbbells and weights or something like that, because I've got a lot of rehab to do, because I don't know if you noticed, but there's I'm carrying a bit more weight than I might like. But basically, since I broke my neck, I've not been able to do anything, and only recently did I get the go-ahead from the doctors to start doing exercise again. So basically, Switzerland's got a lot happening for me. The whole rehab thing for my neck, because that's the thing, I'm going to have to get strong to be able to do this, because at the moment I struggle to do a lot. The trailer enough is a big thing for me. So yeah, do I need to tell you to subscribe? Hopefully you've decided that by yourself already. That would be cool. Ring the bell though, that makes a big difference to small channels, I gather. So yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be really cool to see you guys in the next one, when hopefully, I'm not even going to say what we're going to do because I don't know. Hopefully we'll be having a good time. Catch ya.